welcome back to Living Large Camping. We're currently still working our way through North Dakota and we are stopped at Fort Abraham Lincoln State Park, kind of right smack in the middle of the state.
This park is right along the Missouri River, as you can see here. We don't know anything about this park and we figured the best way to see it is on a hike, and it has been nothing but gorgeous views the whole way.
It's a little overcast, as you can tell, and it's supposed to get to like low 80s today, so it's going to be pretty warm once all of this burns off. But we're going to keep going on this hike, taking you along with us, and just seeing what this beautiful park has to offer. Come on. If you caught our last video, we were camping at Graham's Island State Park in the northeastern part of North Dakota, and it was a great park. And as we made our way more west, we went south towards the National Buffalo Museum, and we spent a night there. It was a harvest host, and right out of our window we could see a herd of buffalo. That was a really cool experience. We're gonna clip some videos here just so you can kind of see that, but we enjoyed it. It was a nice easy overnight spot. And then we had a bunch of recommendations about Fort Abraham Lincoln, so of course we had to come for a couple nights here, and it's time to show you all what we're seeing. So we're camping right here, and we've come up this way, and we did this little soldier loop right here, and then now we've got to head back and find our way back there.
I just can't believe we're in North Dakota. I didn't know anything about this state. Everything we see surprises me. It's very cool.
I definitely agree with Amelia. One of the beautiful things about traveling full-time is whenever you end up in a place that you knew nothing about and you're pleasantly surprised with. I think South Carolina was the same way for us. We went in knowing nothing and we had a great week there. And we're still gonna have a couple nights here, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Either way, let's go see where the rest of this hike takes us. Pretty good place for a fort. Alright, so after exploring the fort up here and reading all the facts that we can, it's time to head back to the camper.
Hike was beautiful. I think that was the best way to show us kind of the overview of the park and read some of the signs about the forts and how this place even became a state park. Connor looked it up and it is actually the first state park of North Dakota. So I think that's pretty cool. But now we're just walking back to our campsite. We're gonna make some lunch because we didn't really eat breakfast. I'm excited for that. Okay, so what's new? Change of plans. We actually aren't going to stay here for another night. The bugs are insane and there are wasps and bees getting into our camper, and we just really don't want Barkley to get stung, or myself or Connor. So we decided it's best for us to move spots. There's something close by, I believe that is free. So before we go, we are going to take advantage of the showers here because we definitely need it. We used bug spray for the hike because there are a ton of mosquitoes. So we're gonna go rinse that off, and then we'll be back to tell you guys exactly what we're doing once we have that figured out.
Well, good morning-ish. Not our best sleep last night. It was pretty warm. I don't think it got below 70 degrees. Neither one of us handled that very well. And we're right next to a train track, and there were trains going all night long. So we are both pretty tired today, and it's supposed to get to like 92 degrees. That's pretty hot for a camper with no air conditioning, so I think today is gonna be a long day. The only benefit of having it so hot is that we're gonna get a lot of solar today, but that also means that our fridge is really going to struggle to stay cold while we're driving. We could be looking at like 4.5 or 5 hours on the road today. So I'm gonna try to plug it into the AC power outlet on our Goal Zero. Our batteries are at like 70%, so hopefully it won't drop below like 40% if we can keep it charged a little bit. But I think it's the only way that we're gonna keep our fridge any kind of cold. Let's try it out. Well, nothing we did worked. It's about 92 degrees outside. We are in a small town about 2 hours away from Billings, Montana, at a Walmart because we needed to upload a video, and we also had to buy a new full bag of ice because our fridge was at like 60 degrees, our battery's at like 35%. We're struggling. So, it's been a couple days. We were previously, where were we? What were we doing? At Fort Abraham Lincoln. At the start of this video, you saw us at Fort Abraham Lincoln in North Dakota. We were going on a hike, exploring, and then it got really hot.
Because of the heat, we try our best to find somewhere to be a little bit cooler because, like we said, we don't do well with the heat. We have no AC, and our batteries are running low. So we decided to book it to Montana.
We just pulled up to a spot. It's gorgeous, and it's in a place called Big Timber, Montana, which is right in between Billings and Bozeman. And we're gonna be here for a couple of nights because it's free camping. There's tons of sun, and the temperatures are much cooler than they were in North Dakota.
But before we even got here, we were sleeping at a Cabela's, trying to figure out how to stay cool and everything like that. So this is worth it.
On the drive over, we ended up driving through Teddy Roosevelt National Park, and if you've seen anything on YouTube about people filming and not being able to show the parks, we can't do that without having a permit. Put a clip here of the drive through Medora, which is the town right next to the park. It was really pretty, and I'm glad we went through it, but we've got that checked off our list now. And yeah, like she said, we spent all of yesterday driving. I mean, we drove like 7 hours. It was crazy windy. But because we were driving, we were able to be in the air conditioning of the truck, so for us it made more sense to drive than it did to sit somewhere and bake. That's enough of us talking. Let's get to the pretty part of camping. This place is going to be special. We've also still really been struggling keeping our fridge cold, and it's pretty windy at this spot, which is nice for the breeze, but we're gonna test the limits of our moonshade awning and see if we can have it put some shade on the fridge vent and not blow away with all the wind. So we're gonna get that set out now, and hopefully that'll help. We'll see if this will stay in. We're gonna scratch that whole thing. We're just gonna turn the truck around. That way the shaded part of the truck is where the fridge is, over there. We'll see if that works. So we got the truck flipped around here, and we've got it a little bit angled in to where at least the passenger side of the camper is in its own shade, and then there's a big tree right here to help with the morning sun. But hopefully keeping the sun right off of the fridge vent will help keep our food a little bit colder. I don't know.
Now that we got the truck flipped around, like Connor said, it's time to go feel the water because it is so hot today and it looks really inviting. Going in.
Not too bad. It's definitely cold.
Refreshing for 90 degrees.
It's better than sitting in the sun. Graceful.
Okay, so we've just been hanging out here, enjoying this beautiful spot. And I know a couple of you have said in the last video that we should get an alternator charger, and we've definitely been considering it. It is just more expensive, so we've been making sure that we do the right thing. And so of course Connor is measuring to make sure that things can fit. And when we open up the hood, we find something very nice.
Something that definitely been trying to nest itself in here.
We've seen a lot of like bees around our car, so we thought maybe that was what it was, but I definitely think it is another critter. Ugh. I don't even know what that dug in. Ugh.
It's definitely just a nesting place for them. They didn't really get into anything. So far I can't tell that any wires are chewed up. They just used the battery cover to make a nest.
Let's hope that is the last time we see that. Probably won't be, but we can hope.
Now that we have that fiasco figured out with the battery compartment and under the hood of the truck, it's time for some dinner. Whenever we pulled into Billings last night, we were both exhausted from like a 7-hour travel day plus 93-degree weather. So we got Chipotle and we didn't eat it all, so we have leftovers. So I'm gonna make a little bit of extra rice for myself and then we'll heat that up and it'll be super simple, but it feels great in the shade, so we're definitely be eating it outside. Everybody. This spot is incredible. We slept really well last night. There was no road noise. We just heard the river running through all night and it got down to like 50 degrees. So we've been pretty miserable the last 3 days or so, and something really had to change, and all that was driving west. It's gonna be a good day here. We have had about the most ideal morning here. We spent a couple hours in the sun drinking our coffee, then we took Barkley on a walk, and then I just went on a 2-mile run. Amelia's doing a workout outside, and it's just really nice to be set up somewhere long enough that we can kind of establish a routine. And now I'm gonna go cool down in the river. I looked it up today, it shows it's 61 degrees. It's gonna feel amazing.
And now it's time for me to get in there. It's gonna be chilly, but I think it's going to be extremely refreshing. Okay, that was such a nice temperature. Honestly, I wouldn't say it's any colder than Lake Michigan, so we're kind of used to it, and it was exactly what we needed. It's not as hot today as it was yesterday, so that's extremely nice. So we're gonna enjoy sitting outside a little bit more today and soaking in this beautiful view.
After that swim, we just made a nice little lunch. We got some apple and a wrap.
Of course, Connor found another amazing spot, and I'm forever thankful for them. Every time, it's fun to show up as a surprise, and this one really wins. We will be in Montana for a couple of weeks, so we are so excited to show you guys around this state and just find some more beautiful spots like this one.
Thank you as always for being here. If you're still here at the end of this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and then make sure to subscribe and join us for all of our journey out west. It's gonna be beautiful, and we are really excited for it.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Hope you have a large day. We will see you next video. Race.